my good friend and brother, the Chairman of Council of Governors and the Governor of Wajir, distinguished governors, distinguished senators, distinguished members of parliament who have been their leader for many years, and Your Excellency, I was the leader of this group for 10 years and handed over to Honorable Raso and the other team. Our good and important high ambassadors and development partners, the leadership of the national government led by our regional coordinator, heads of security. Your Excellency, I will not talk about environment, climate change, and forestry because the director of climate change, as an expert, was here. She presented. All our team were here from KEFRI and all the other ministries. Your Excellency, I am a son of the pastoralist, but today I am a minister of the Republic of Kenya. And the people of Wajir County, the leadership, this morning led by our governor, gave you the critical issues for the 3 counties. Water and sewerage for Garissa, for Wajir County, electricity, and Your Excellency, your legacy, which you have started when you are the Deputy President, this very important road called the Horn of Africa Gateway Development Project, which is funded by the World Bank and many other partners, including the government of Kenya. Your Excellency, before I continue, we have Principal Secretaries here who were here 4 days. Principal Secretary Umi Bashir, Principal Secretary Abdi Dubat, Principal Secretary Ismail Madei, Principal Secretary Kelo Harsama, and our Principal Secretary in charge of livestock. Very important, Bana Jonathan Mike. Please clap for them. Your Excellency, since you became and took over, and I'm happy today, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o did not say it. I am very happy because at one time you are the deputy party leader of ODM and Anyang' Nyong'o was the Secretary General. And I can tell you, and Honorable Henry Kosgei was the chairman. And I can tell you that was one of the times when a political party was run very well. I was a very young parliamentarian. So, siasa si uadui, siasa ni urafiki, na siasa ni mashindano. Your Excellency, since you became a president, there is peace, tranquility, and security in the pastoral areas. This region, the 5 counties in this region that border Ethiopia and Somalia, used to have serious security threat internally and externally. And I want to speak it even as a former minister, your Minister for Defense. Since you took over security, even in the North Rift, the interclan wars, the cattle wrestling, you said it when you were campaigning and it ended. Thank you very much on behalf of the leadership and on behalf of the cabinet that today me and my sister are representing. Number 2, Your Excellency, you have done 3 things, and I want you to continue. 3 things, what I have been around. 3 things, and Professor Anyang' Nyong'o will bear with me that. 3 things that President Kibaki tried and he could not do. President Uhuru tried and he could not do. These 3 things, the first one is on the unity of the people of Kenya. You will go into history as the only president when he was elected, because election is an event. Election is just one-day event. You are the only president who said, regardless of where you come from, regardless of your social status, regardless of your political status, regardless of your religious affiliation, and the county you come from, Kenya is one, and the people of Kenya must be treated as one. I want to thank you, and there are many of us, there are thousands and millions of Kenyans who will work with you And Professor Nyang'o is here representing Honorable Raila Odinga. We are so proud of you. Yesterday, you drove to our former president, a person you and myself worked with. You have reached out to former Prime Minister, and we encourage you to reach out to all leaders so that each and every leader, whether in the opposition, whether in government, we agree on one thing, on how Kenya can move forward. So, Your Excellency, we are behind you. There is leadership, we are all behind you, and I'm sure everybody in Kenya is very happy. Election is one event, uniting the country, developing the country. Number two, Your Excellency, universal health care was tried by President Kibaki. And I want to say it here, one of the many things, but the two crucial things that can tell, and the ambassador of Ireland is here, the ambassador of Switzerland is here. One of the things that differentiate two countries, one which is developed and one which is underdeveloped, are two things: healthcare and education. And you have picked those two. But let me pick on universal healthcare. Universal healthcare, President Kibaki tried. Honorable Charity Gilu was the minister. And it reached a stage where even President Kibaki said, no, this is a hot potato, I can't touch it. President Uhuru Kenyatta started it. Kisumu was one of the pilot counties. Kisumu, Machakos, Isiolo, and I think Nakuru. Or Nyeri. Those four counties were the pilots of the universal health care. At one stage, the President Uhuru said, this thing is too hot. Let me drop it. It died. Today, I want to tell the people of Kenya, Your Excellency, that universal health care should be, in fact, your main legacy, because it affects every section of our society. And why do I say so? Universal health care model has brought a new, better modification than NHIF. 54%, Your Excellency, 54% of Kenyans cannot afford good health care. That's why these members of parliament, everybody were doing fundraising. That's why there's a huge migration. If you look at the numbers of Kenyans going to India to look for health care, you can't imagine. And the crisis happened during the COVID. Majority of our unemployed, those in the informal sector, the market we have just passed here, will access this universal, this social health authority. And governor have said it. Today, before this, I was paying about 5,000 shillings. Now I'm paying close to 39,000. So those of us in the higher rank, I am sure the president is paying about 60, 70,000. So those who are paying 500, now it has dropped to 300, 54%. 54% of the people who are the lower cadre, and these are facts, are now paying 300. And when they pay 300, you access what the Council of Governors chairman was saying. Before, NHIF was only paying for the bed, for example. Now, SHA will pay for the bed, will pay for the surgery, will pay for the medicine. Those who cannot even pay, and at some stage, Your Excellency, you allow me even, and I think I'll go to the FM station, because the county of Wajir, county of Garissa, county of Marsabit, county of Mandera, county of Isiolo, and other pastoral counties, we are not doing very well. Our three counties are doing, I think Wajir is the best, is doing 6%. Garissa and Mandera are doing 5%. And I want to ask all our leaders, during this December holiday, let us come back here and register our people en masse. Our people will walk into these hospitals. They will be treated. Those who are unemployed, who cannot pay the central government, the money that I am paying extra, the money that the current members of parliament are paying, the extra money is what is going to be used to treat the millions of Kenyans who are unemployed, who are in the informal sector, who cannot pay. Mama Mboga just needs to pay 300. They will never ask you for Harambe, for medical. They will never ask you, we want to take somebody to India. This is the benefit that SHA has brought. In the implementation, ask yourself, this system is waterproof. This system is fraud-proof. Many hospitals and clinics, if you walk in Wajir and Garissa and Kisumu, many hospitals and clinics will close when SHA takes root properly. The reason is there are many people who opened health centers and hospitals because they were getting fictitious, corrupt money from NHIF. But because I know a number of high quality, transparent health facilities will be found in our country. And I will tell you, the moment 100% transition is done, you will see many people in our counties closing shop. Why? Because they were surviving on the fraud that was taking place in the previous system. Second and last important on SHA is the patient's record. Your record in Wajir here, if you are a resident of Wajir and you are in Nairobi or Kisumu and you become sick, because of the digitization of the system, you don't need to carry lab test. You don't need to carry your history, ailment history. You go to your doctor, he clicks on the button of that computer, and he will find your record. But now, you go to this hospital, you're told pay for lab test. Next week you are sick, you go to another hospital in Nyeri, you are told pay for it. This is a very important thing. Your Excellency, affordable housing. I am sure the leadership of Wajir County and Garissa and Mandera and all these pastors sitting here, there is serious affordable housing going on in all their constituencies. What does the affordable house tell you? And also President Kibaki failed to deliver because of negative politics, because of negative forces. Affordable housing is a constitutional requirement, and it obligates government, the national government, led by the president, that there must be, it's an article in the Constitution, there must be a decent housing for every citizen. If a government has to implement that provision, then the answer is affordable housing. Your Excellency, affordable housing, I have seen it, I was shocked. I walked into Wajir, I look at the records, it's being done in Eldas, it's being done in all our constituencies, it's being done in all the 14 counties of that. So it's very, very clear thing, and please, let you be remembered. In 2 years, Your Excellency, the biggest problem Kenya was facing in the education sector was the teacher-student ratio. These members will agree with me, I served with them, even today. But in 2 years, this is the only administration that employed so far, I think, over 120,000 teachers. In the 10 years of President Uhuru Kenyatta, we did 100,000. In 2.5 years of President William Ruto, this government has employed over 120,000. Your Excellency, teachers are now everywhere in northern Kenya. Secondly, we inherited an economy where the micro and the macro was not doing very well. Inflation was very high. The shilling was weak. food prices were very high. Today, Kenya, good people, those who are listening to me and those who are here, Your Excellency, today in our region, our shilling has stabilized. Inflation has gone to 2.7%. In 16 years, we haven't seen it. The Kenyan Bankers Association, Your Excellency, they have a meeting every end of year. They have invited me as their chief guest tomorrow night. I'll speak more about the economy tomorrow. Those are the right guys who can give you. You told us, Your Excellency, that let us invest in production, not consuming. God gave us rain. Today I want to tell you these pastoralists, including myself. My camels are about 100 kilometers from here. The 2.5 million animals we lost in the drought, the 4-year drought, Your Excellency, now our animals have recovered, our pastoralists have recovered. And this time we have also that. Your Excellency, lastly, the education model, before I hand over to the governor. The education model that we see today in Kenya is an education model that, unlike when I went to the university many years ago, where all of us, regardless of our social status, we were given boom. It was called boom. We used to be given 5,000 shillings. Whether you're the son of a minister or you are the daughter of a peasant. This model is, Your Excellency, is saying the rich guys, the people who can pay for their children, need to pay school fees. And this model will only help the poor of the poor. So it has developed the community into different strata. So, Your Excellency, universal health care, education model, the unity of our people is very critical. And I want to ask all Kenyans, please, with a lot of humility, we want the leaders to have humility. We must answer questions that citizens ask, whether they ask in social media, whether they ask in public. It's a listening government. We will listen to you, but give and get the correct fact. I have worked, as a final, I have worked with President Kibaki, I've worked with President Uhuru and yourself, I'm working with you. I want us leaders to be held to account. We are government that believes there must be transparency and accountability. Citizens have the right to hold their government, their president, their ministers, their PSs, and all in leadership. They must be held to account. We are ready, we are willing, more than anybody else, at any time, in any forum, to be held to account on what we promised and what was in our manifesto. With those many remarks, Your Excellency, I have to say this because, and I'll come back to Wajir with our governor, to Mandera with our governor, to Lamu. This Lamu is only pastoralist who, at one time, he eats fish, and the other time he eats camel meat. He's the only one. He's very unique, the governor of Lamu. The rest of us, we don't eat fish, unless we go to Kisumu, and we are a visitor of our great governor, Anyang Yong, or we are at the coast. Thank you very much. May God bless you.